Hey guys, it's Allie, and I'm here today with a book review of Champion by Marie Lu, the final installment in the Legend trilogy. So if you guys have not already picked up Legend, that, my friend, is a big mistake, because it's a real good time. And the Legend trilogy consists of Legend, Prodigy, which I currently do not have in my possession, and Champion, of course. If you have not read Legend, Prodigy, and frankly, if you haven't read Champion, I'd just go. I mean, what are you doing here, crazy? Go read all of that and come back. So, goodbye for now, and all of you who have read Champion, let's talk about it. So Champion picks up about 6 months or so after the end of Prodigy, and if you all remember correctly, at the end of Prodigy, Day finds out that he has remnants of this plague and is going to be dying soon. And these headaches that he was having all throughout Prodigy and all throughout Champion as well are one of the major symptoms of his illness. Day and June are now firmly on the side of the Republic, which is now run by the young Elector Andon. And Andon knows that Day has the most influence upon the public, so Day has done a few speeches in Andon's support to kind of boost morale and get people really dedicated to the Republic's cause. When Champion starts out, we find out that the colonies have a plague running through them, and they demand that the Republic send over a cure, or they will instigate war. So they think that Eden, Day's little brother, may have a cure for this plague, and so they want to operate and test on Eden again to possibly see if he can have a cure that they can send over to the colonies and stop imminent war. So of course, Andon's like, June, you and Day have a thing. Why don't you call up Day and see if he's willing to just tow his little brother on down so we can just experiment a little bit on him. That's basically how Champion starts and what's going down. Alright, so I just want to say that Champion was my favorite book in this entire series. I think it was very well executed, it was thrilling, it was emotional, the characters were even more vibrant than they have been in the past, and I really think this is a really strong way to go out, and it is the best sequel / end of a series book that I have read this entire year, and I'm just so pleased with it. First of all, things that I think really worked and I really liked was, first of all, Day and June's relationship. I think they're not too clingy, but they're also kind of they're a little awkward sometimes, which is realistic and makes them feel more like a real couple, but they also have this really cool connection, and no matter where they are and how far, you know they care about each other. But it's also interesting to see the dynamic between them, where Day knows that June helped bring forth his mother's death, and she's associated with, you know, the high ends of the Republic, which have done the trials and all that, so he has a lot of resentment towards her, but he's also in love with her, and just seeing that strain between them is really interesting to see and really well developed, I thought. Another thing I really liked about Champion that I thought was a big step up from Prodigy was the distinctiveness of the narratives between June and Day, because for me, Prodigy was like a super rad time. Like, I really enjoyed it. I can't believe I just said super rad. Maybe I'll just start saying that all the time. Anyways, so one thing that I thought Prodigy lacked was a clear, distinguished line between Day's voice and June's voice. Whereas I thoroughly enjoyed Prodigy because it was super action-packed and fun to read, but a lot of times June and Day started to bleed together and sound very similar, and I was a little disappointed in that because when you read Legend, they're really distinct, interesting characters to read, so Prodigy kind of fell short for that in me, but then Champion just fixed it all and brought it back up, and she really improved the different voices that they talk through, because now I can clearly see and understand when June is speaking and when Day is speaking. And what I really liked was their further character development. I like how she really, Marie Lu really delved into the analytical, observant side of June more so, and the more just like cold logic. And I like how in the like parentheses when she was going into places, she'd be like listing off observations of everything she's seeing and tying it together in her mind, which was like really Sherlock Holmesy to me. And I thought that was really cool way to bring out that side of June and really differentiate and individualize her as a person. And then you have Day, and you can just tell it's Day because he speaks from a more emotional standpoint. He kind of lets his emotions push him to certain directions, even if he knows they might not always be the best choice for the group. If they're the best choice for his loved ones, he often goes with that option, or the best choice for the less fortunate. He lets his passionate and generous and caring nature guide a lot of his decisions, and he can also be kind of reckless too, so I think that, I really like that about him. And another character I just love, as usual, is Andon, and I just feel so much emotional sadness for him because he likes June so much, and June's never gonna reciprocate it, and just makes me so sad, and it's just such a bummer. Andon, if you're out there, I'm waiting for you. Nope, I feel like that sounds creepy. Just kidding! But, I think it's really cool to see him go from that kind of naive young leader thrown into like that stressed, more willing to use his power type of person. I thought that kind of arc for him was really well done and just a really cool character to read. Another thing I really liked was when they went to Antarctica, when June and Andon went to Antarctica. That was so cool because this whole series we've just been seeing within LA and Denver and the Republic, all their territories, so going outside of the Republic, because you're wondering this whole time, what does everything outside look like? How developed are they? And Antarctica was so cool, but also super disturbing in a way that they have these glasses that they put you on and you get points for like doing good things. It's like, you should just do good things because you should do good things. And the fact that it's on a point system now, it's like, God, how far have we fallen as human beings? And all that technology was super fascinating to me, and it was really fun to finally see outside of the Republic and what was going on outside. Another thing I really liked was just the idea that it's not a traditional dystopian series. It's not like, girl or boy is in an oppressive government. Girl or boy reveals secrets about oppressive government. Girl or boy gets thrown into rebellion. Girl or boy overthrows oppressive government. It's more like girl or boy, or in this case, girl and boy live in somewhat oppressive government, one not as sure about it, and then girl and boy find out some really bad things about this government. And then girl and boy dig into somewhat of their own rebellion, and then girl and boy join rebellion. Girl and boy find out that that rebellion is super corrupt and even worse maybe than their actual government. Girl and boy go back to supporting their original oppressive government, and girl and boy help fight that government against another group. It's just like, I've never read anything like that before, where they actually end up supporting their original government. It's really refreshing. Things I didn't like. The text was red. That was a little annoying. Like, just think about this for a second. I mean, look at that. Look, you're reading red text. Like, it gets a little annoying at times. Because it's like, God, am I reading all corrections? What's happening? And then the other thing that's annoying, Tess is such an infuriating person to me. Even when she's being nice, I'm just like, go away. No one wants you here. Or maybe other people want you here, but I don't want you here, so you should go, bro. You should go. Otherwise, I had a really hard time of thinking of criticisms for this book because I really enjoyed it and thought it was really well constructed. Okay, so spoilery shock and plot twist section. So did you guys think that June would be the cure? Did you guys think that? Because I feel like I didn't expect that, and I thought that was kind of a refreshing plot twist, and it makes so much sense too. It wasn't just out of the blue, but now that I realized when they went back into the colonies and she was operated on, when you read that, it's like, it's a little fishy, but you kind of just, you throw it away because there's so much else going on. But then when you think about it, it makes so much sense that they put it in her so they can mutate this plague and start their war. What? I mean, did you guys expect that? Because I definitely did not. And then second of all, I'm just gonna skip ahead to the ending because I feel like that just needs to be addressed. I had this solid idea in my mind that Day was going to die in the end. Day dies. That's what happens. Day dies. And so then you go to this part towards the end where he's getting shot and you're like, God, this is how it happens. But that threw me off because I thought he was just gonna die naturally from his plague symptoms, but he didn't. So at first I'm like, okay, so he's getting shot and then he dies. But then they save him, and then, oh my gosh, and then he's lost his memory. And usually that is something that I really hate when people get memory wipes, but I feel like it was really fitting in this situation. Because even though Day and June love each other, there was a lot of tension in there that was just kind of unhealthy for them and things that just can't be solved. So a fresh start for them I think was really needed, and I love how it took its time for them to get back to, like, see each other again. And even then I like how it ended on a note of potential instead of like a pretty little wrapped up package. And also when they're aging and going throughout the years, the way she writes it, you can feel them aging. It was really realistic and well done, especially in Day. You can definitely tell that he has matured and changed. But the ending definitely sparked some tears, especially when he was shot and she was trying to save him. Like, one of my favorite passages is on page 338, if you want to join me in this little passage reading. She's with him as he's, fading, and it says, I look desperately around us, my vision blurred with tears, and everything is a smear of blood and smoke, light and ash, and all I can hear is screaming and gunfire and hatred. And I am so tired of the fighting, so frustrated, angry, helpless. Tell me there is still good in the world, tell me there is still hope for all of us. Through an underwater veil, I feel hands on my arms pull me away from Day. I struggle stubbornly against them. Pain lances up my injured shoulder. Medics bend down over his body. His eyes are closed now, and I can't see him breathing. Images of Matthias's body flash back to me. When the medics try again to pull me away from Day, I shove them roughly away and scream. I scream for everything that has gone wrong. I scream for everything broken in our lives. So it just got me, and just the way she wrote it, talking about the sounds all around and how it sounded like hatred, how harsh it all sounded. And it's finally this part where you see this emotional side of June that we all know is there, but she never really brings it up. And it's not because she's trying to suppress her emotion, it's just because she feels like there's other things to focus on. So it's just really gets to you when a character like that finally lets out some kind of emotional response. Overall, this book was phenomenal, such an awesome end to the series, and it just warmed my heart and was super surprising because going into the series I liked it, but it wasn't on the top of my list compared to other things. But now it is one of my favorite dystopian series out there, and I highly, highly recommend it if you haven't read it. And why you still might be watching this video, I have no idea, but hey, your prerogative. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. Well constructed, great characters, great pacing, great plot twists, just an overall wonderful ride. And I give this one 5 out of 5 stars. Go you, Marie Lou, go you. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon. Keep on reading. Bye!